Peace be upon you. My name is Rashida Sadiq, the Emoligen teacher. Today I'd like to talk about 3 reasons why it's really important to include psychomotor learning in the classroom. Now, what exactly is psychomotor learning? Psychomotor learning involves the development of organized patterns of muscular activities. So basically, it involves movement, but this movement is guided by the environment, so in reaction to the environment. Psychomotor learning is sometimes called sensory motor learning or perceptual motor skills. So it's just the ability to be able to manipulate movement. And generally we try to tend to categorize it under 2. We have the gross motor movement or gross motor skills. These are skills that allow us to make big movements so we can wave our hands. And then we have the fine motor skills. Now these allow us to make really tiny, delicate movements like threading a needle, things like that need more focus and concentration. So it's really important that as we're teaching, we don't just focus on the cognitive, we don't just focus on depositing knowledge in the children. We have to make it something that is well balanced. And what can we benefit if we promote psychomotor skills in the children? I have a list and here it goes. The first benefit is that the child is going to improve in agility. The child is also going to improve in flexibility. The child is going to improve in endurance. The child is going to improve in precision. The child is going to improve in strength. And all of these work together to help the child also improve cognitively. Man is not just, isolated to one side. We have to develop all facets of the human being. And the physical body is a big, big part of who we are and who we need to be to promote wholesome living. So what are those reasons why we should use psychomotor learning in the classroom? The first one is that it caters to variation in behaviors and learning patterns, especially learners who are more kinesthetic, who learn better when they move. And really, it's everybody. It's just that some are able to manage with the visual or just the auditory, but everybody learns better if you add that element of movement. The second thing that it does for us is that it brings out hidden talents and skills in some children. And it helps everyone to shine. So those children that easily know their times tables may not be the best when it comes to teamwork that involves lifting things, that involves drawing things, that involves moving things. So for example, if you're an English teacher and you ask a child to write an essay, those that are really cognitively endowed will do very well, will get all their spellings, will arrange their paragraphs. But if you ask a child to create a poster, still an English lesson, then you see the skills of those that may not be very good at spelling but have good ways of drawing, of arranging an outline. They can plan an infographic in a way that is more enticing and easy on the eyes. And the third reason why we need to make sure we include psychomotor learning in our classroom is that it develops a wholesome and healthy child. Now, what do I mean by this? If there's psychomotor learning, if there's learning that involves movement, then we see social skills increasing because you have to move around, you have to ask for things, you have to work with other people. There's communication, there's organization, there's cooperation. All of these skills, yes, they're not directly psychomotor, but because of the psychomotor learning you're doing, you're bringing out some of the affective skills that are important for life and livelihood. Another important thing is about having a healthy mind and a healthy body. Now, we live a very sedentary life. A lot of us spend so much time in front of our computers, in front of our phones, in front of our televisions. These children need to move around. And if you haven't experienced it, just go for a walk. Do a few minutes of exercise. You find that you have a brain boost. Exercise, movement actually also improves cognitive capacity. And finally, how do we introduce sensory motor learning in our classroom? Well, I have just a few for today. But the first one is use a lot of games. Gamification is awesome. And you can do simple games. You can do pair work, you can do teamwork, games that just involve moving around. So something like jigsaw reading, you need the child to move around, to try to get the different pieces of what they need to read. Also, we should try to involve a lot of practicals. So what are you teaching? Is it mathematics? If you're teaching measurement, let them go out and measure. If you're teaching area, let them measure the length and the breadth. Let them calculate the area. Let's have a lot of practical inclined tasks. Even if you're teaching the humanities, history, geography, let them go out. Let them find out. Let them interview people. All of these involve psychomotor skills. Also, let's try to include a lot of craft activities in what we do. Now, I teach reading and I include crafts in my reading. So sometimes we just pick something that we've gotten from the book and we try to recreate something similar. So if we read a book about a princess, my children could make a crown. Something as simple as that. It's linking the cognitive with the psychomotor with the affective. And also, we can include physical education in our classes. More and more, we tend to just relegate physical activities or physical education to time on the playground. Or even worse, we're learning the theory of the length and breadth of the football pitch, but the children don't know how to play football. I'm going to stop here, and I hope we've learned something. What are you going to do to include psychomotor learning in your classroom? Till we meet again, bye-bye.